Hello there, my name is Mackenzie. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for being here. Today we are talking about my anticipated releases for January. So these videos in 2022 are going to be a little bit different than they were in 2021. In 2021, I was doing a monthly reading mood plus my anticipated new releases. Because I am now moving away from the monthly mood and into actual like 2-month TBR style videos, these are just going to be my anticipated releases for the month. So if you're new to these videos, hi, welcome. What we're going to do here is I'm just going to give you the little bits and pieces, little blurbs that I gathered from Goodreads. I'm going to let you know a little bit about the book, why it interests me, and the current rating on Goodreads. So I'm not going to read you the whole synopsis. I don't even read full synopsis, but if it sounds interesting based on what I said, definitely go check it out. So starting on January 4th, we have The Kindred by Alicia Dow. This is a sci-fi fantasy in the YA age range. I'm still looking for like a good YA like fantasy sci-fi. Sci-fi fantasy is like my comfort zone, and I'm looking for a good YA. To save a galactic kingdom from revolution, kindred mind pairings were created to ensure each and every person would be seen and heard, no matter how rich or poor. And that is so cute to me. I love this idea that there's like one person whom you're connected to, who you understand. I love this whole like the idea that your minds could be connected, even if it's not like in a romantic sense. Like I've read it in A Court of Thorns and Roses when Feyre and Rhysand have that mental connection, but also in Percy Jackson. Percy and his friend Grover have like an empathy link and they can like read minds, and that's so cool to me. Also on January 4th, we have Tiger Honor by Yoon Ha Lee. This is the second. It is the second in the Thousand Worlds series, the first one being Dragon Pearl. It is a sci-fi fantasy middle grade. So this is from the Rick Riordan Presents imprint. I am literally all about that imprint. I love Rick Riordan. I love all the books that I read coming out so far. I'm going to read Dragon Pearl this month so I can figure out if I want to get the second one. More than likely I will. So this series follows Min, who comes from a long line of fox spirits who have to stay in their human form so that way no one knows that they're actually fox spirits. All the while she wants to join the Space Force that her brother is in, and it seems like much more sci-fi than the other Rick Riordan Presents books have been, so it seems really interesting. Next, we're moving on to January 11th. Oh my goodness, I didn't tell you the Goodreads ratings. For The Kindred, we have 4.07, and for Tiger Honor, it is 4.27 right now. On January 11th, we have Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan, which has a 4.4 rating. It's the first in a series. This is a mythology, fantasy, YA. I love all of these things: mythology, fantasy, sci-fi, comfort zone. This is inspired by the Chinese legend of the Moon Goddess, in which a young woman's quest to free her mother pits her against the most powerful immortal in the realm. Yes. Yes, this is giving me slight Gods of Jade and Shadow vibes, and like, that's everything. Also on January 11th, only having a 3.3 rating on Goodreads right now, but I'm still interested, is called Battle of the Linguist Mages by Scotto Moore. This is a sci-fi fantasy adult age range. So we have modern day LA, a shadowy faction led by the governor of California develops the arcane art of combat linguistics, planting the seeds of a future totalitarian empire. So a lot of political machinations, it seems, but also it kind of reminds me of Lexicon by Max Berry. I have it over here. So in that book, like, people used words to control other people, and it kind of feels like the same thing. And the only thing that I didn't like about Lexicon was how at the end it kind of turned into like a damsel in distress thing. So I'm really hoping that that won't happen with Battle of the Linguist Mages, but I still am going to give it a chance. And last but not least, we have January 18th. There are 4 books I want to talk about. First is a sequel called Temple of No God by H.M. Long. This is the sequel to Hull of Smoke, which I read earlier in 2021. It's a high fantasy adult story. So we continue from the first book following Hessa. I'm not going to give you too many details. I don't want to spoil it for you, but Hessa lives in this world where there are like gods, where there are like tribes and factions, and each faction worships like a god basically. And at the beginning of Holland Smoke, she is sent away for not listening to her goddess, and then her entire tribe is killed. That happens at the very beginning. And so the whole book of Holland Smoke is her trying to like avenge her people and trying to honor her goddess enough so that way she won't be like damned basically. Very interesting, very like heavy on mythology, not so much world building. I'm not sure, like it's one of those things where the mythology is the truth of the matter, and so learning about the gods in turn helps you learn about the world. Hessa was a super cool, super badass female warrior character. I really enjoyed the story. It was kind of sad and tragic, but also very interesting. I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to be picking up the second book hopefully soon. I obviously have it in the paperback, so I'm going to need the paperback of the second, but hopefully I'll get it in paperback soon and it'll be great and awesome and we'll love it. Temple of No God currently has a 4.18 on Goodreads, and Electric Idol by Katie Robert has a 4.19. This is the second in a series as well. This is second to Neon Gods, which follows Persephone and Hades, and this one follows Psyche and Eros. So we have a mythology, romance, adult story. It's going to be sexy, so if that's not your thing, just move on. So we have Olympus as a modern city, and since I haven't read Neon Gods just yet, I'm not entirely sure all that it will encompass, but I know it's more of like a taking the characters and putting them in more of a modern city setting. If it's anything like the Wicked Villains series, that one has a lot to do with them being like gang members and stuff, so it might be something similar. I know in the first one, Demeter was going to try and sell Persephone off to Zeus, who is like a bad guy, not very nice or romantic or sweet or soft at all, and Hades like comes in and saves her. So like I'm only even more engaged to get into the Psyche and Eros story. When I was growing up, Psyche and Eros was my favorite story, even more so than Hades and Persephone. It took me a while to like that myth, but the Eros and Psyche myth is always just so tragic to me and beautiful, and so like I'm ready for a sexy, spicy time. Now we have Icebreaker, which has a 4.43 on Goodreads by A.L. Grazady. This is a contemporary YA romance. I'm really excited about it. It looks really cute. We have a debut album. It's a book. This is a debut book about two hockey players fighting to be the best and the romance that catches them both by surprise along the way. It's gay. We have like rivals, like more so than I love the academic rivals. I love sports rivals. It's so perfect to me, and like my little high school sports heart is pitter-pattering and I love it and I'm so excited. I can't wait for it, okay? I can't wait. It's a debut, so I'm a little nervous, but I'm not gonna let that stop me. Last but not least, we have Anatomy, a love story by Dana Schwartz. It has a 4.03 on Goodreads right now. So this is a historical fiction, but it's also a gothic romance, and it's YA. So, like, I have hope that I'm not gonna hate it. I don't really like historical fiction very often. I don't like racism or sexism or all the isms that come with history that were just so widely accepted, and I hate it. So I don't really like historical fiction very often, but this intrigues me. We have a female surgeon and a resurrection man who sells dead bodies. Are you following? And a buried secret that they must uncover together. It just gives me like feminist Frankenstein vibes, and I'm so here for it. So those are the 8 books that I'm really excited about that are coming out in January. Tell me what you're excited for coming out this month in the comments down below, and let me know if any of these sound interesting to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!